meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. Partly to mostly sunny, hot today, about 90 to 95. The southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear overnight, about 71, 72. 91, 92 expected Wednesday, mostly sunny, light south winds. Back into the low 90s Thursday, mostly sunny. Your life, your music, we're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Tensions in the Syrian war have escalated after Russia blamed Israel for causing Syrian forces to accidentally shoot down a Russian plane. President Trump's announced his biggest round of tariffs against China in a move that escalates the bitter trade dispute between the two sides. South Korean President Moon Jae-in is visiting Pyongyang for his third summit this year with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. And in football, the Champions League returns on Tuesday with some of Europe's biggest clubs in action.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Jones, and my very special guests today are Dr. Lacey Overly and Dr. Kimberly Davis from Arkansas State University. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And they are going to be talking about the new H.O.W.L Service Center that will be opening. H.O.W.L Service Center that will be opening this week on the campus of Arkansas State University. So I am looking forward to hearing more information about that, but I want them to please first give an introduction of themselves. I'll tell you what role they play at Arkansas State University. Dr. Lacey?
Yes, so I am an assistant professor of counseling in the Department of Psychology and Counseling. I'm in my, just started my 6th year there. And I teach in our graduate counseling program, and I'm also coordinator of our play therapy program. And that is one of the side of what we will be doing through H.O.W.L Service Center.
The play therapy?
Play therapy and counseling services.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. I've just become acquainted with the term play therapy this year. I mean, I've heard about it before, but really got to know more about it, but I'm very interested to see how you all are going to offer, what aspect of it you all are going to offer through the service center.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Kimberly.
Yes, Kimberly Davis. I am an associate professor of special education at Arkansas State University in the Department of Educational Leadership, Curriculum, and Special Education. And I work in 3 different programs. We have a Bachelor's of Special Education, a Master's of Special Education, and just new this summer we have a Master's of Arts and Teaching in Special Education, where I serve as a program coordinator.
Right.
We're definitely excited to work and collaborate with the H.O.W.L Service Center.
All right. And so what services will you, well, from the teaching aspect, will you be offering through the service center?
We will offer academic interventions with the students, and the academic interventions will be in all areas, but specifically in areas of reading, writing, and math.
Okay.
So we'll focus on all of those academic areas, and even go as far as developing a plan for that student. It won't be an IEP, but a learning plan where we're able to track that student's progress and determine goals and objectives in order to make sure that student shows gains.
Okay. I want to get more into that because reading, writing, and math seems to be one of those areas that students are really struggling, even from K through 12. They're really struggling, and so I would love to hear more about how you all are trying to, how you all are going to attempt to help these students to be more successful. But I first want to get into, the center is going to be brand new this Thursday, so want to know, how did this come about? When did the talk start, about the service center?
Well, Dr. Kristen Johnson has kind of been the spearhead of all of this.
Okay.
She approached each of us about really wanting to work together collaboratively, because we could really saw the benefit that all of our programs could come together to provide services for our community. And that's where it started when we hit the ground running this summer, just getting everything done, the manuals written and things approved, and started the process.
That's awesome. So tell us about who will be served through the center.
A wider range of people, primarily the community is who we will be working with. For the counseling side, we'll be working with play therapy, doing play therapy with children in the community. Also children of faculty and staff.
Yes.
And we'll be working with parents also, providing parent services through its child-parent relationship therapy. We will be providing couples and family counseling for the community, and then individual and group counseling for the community, also for those that are in need.
But services will not be provided to students who attend Arkansas State University.
No.
Okay.
No. We have counseling. So we have a counseling center on campus that provides services to those students. But we are looking at all students, all parents, families in the community to attend the H.O.W.L Service Center. So we're there for the community, and I think this is an awesome opportunity for the community to connect to Arkansas State University.
Thank you. Took the words right out of my mouth. That's one thing I try to stress here is that, especially through KLK, we try to invite as many people from Arkansas State on the show to share information about what's going on campus that also benefits individuals in the community to help bridge that gap. There are some people that see Arkansas State as a separate entity within the city, but it's actually kind of all-inclusive in some ways.
It is.
And we want to bridge that gap.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what we're there. We are training our students to work with the community, and therefore we have to have them working together to do that.
That's awesome.
And so that's what we're getting to do. And with the school psychology, who's also working with us, that's Dr. Kristen Johnson and Dr. Megan Medley are with that program. They'll be doing assessment and interventions similar with working with a special education program. And what we intend to also see is probably a lot of crossover between the counseling and the school psych and special ed, where kind of a wraparound service type of thing, where they may be getting multiple services within the center.
And it's such unique opportunities because it helps our students as well, because it's practical opportunities for them where they'll have one-on-one experiences with students, and they will also have supervision from school psychologists. So I mean, it's all around a great program.
That's really awesome. Now, will current school psychologists or counselors be allowed to attend any classes for continuing education through your center?
That is something that we have talked about. Is doing workshops
and professional development.
That's really awesome. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Dr. Lacey Overly and Dr. Kimberly Davis from Arkansas State University. They will be working with the H.O.W.L Service Center located on the campus of Arkansas State University. But this center will focus on serving the community, not the students of Arkansas State, because they have their own counseling services available. We want to say good morning to Kristen Johnson and our very own Legacy Kell for checking in this morning. If anyone out there has any questions or comments, please give us a call at 870-277-1080 or leave us a message on our Facebook live feed. Okay, so I want to go more into the counseling side. We'll definitely get deeper into the education side. I know that you said these two will really interconnect in some ways, but on the counseling side, give us a breakdown of, first of all, how are people going to refer? Will you take referrals or will you take self-referral? How does the process work of getting clients in?
All of the above.
Okay.
Right. But so the counseling services actually will not start until spring semester.
Okay.
That's when our students will be prepared to start seeing clients, as opposed to special ed and school psych will start
This
fall
Okay.
after our grand opening Thursday.
Okay.
So the counseling services will start in spring, but we are we're going to start taking referrals, and we'll create a waiting list. We're happy to do that because students are ready to hit the ball, as soon as that they can.
Okay.
So what we will do is we'll take referrals from different places in the community. Part of what we plan on doing this fall is networking and marketing.
Okay.
So I plan to, with students, to start going to doctor's offices and DHS and other agencies that may need referral services or looking for someone to refer to. All of our services are working on a sliding scale.
Okay.
So we won't be filing insurance at this time, just sliding scale with cashier check, and that will be based off of income. And part of what we'll do is also, like I said, somebody, if they see our number somewhere or they find us online, they can call us and say, hey, my kid, or I need help. I want to come see somebody and talk to them. So we'll get them set up. We'll do an intake. Somebody will do an intake to kind of get an idea of what the general issues are, to be able to determine what best services are going to work for them and their specific needs. And then we will assign to a clinician, and then the clinician will meet with them and begin working. And depending on whether it's the play therapy or if it's parenting stuff or family stuff or individual counseling for adults, whatever it may be, we'll figure out what their needs are, and we get that intake from them.
All right, we have a question on Facebook. Sorry, let me scroll back up. Okay. Oh, will the center offer services to those affected by depression?
Yes. Yeah. We, as counselors, we are trained to work with an array of issues, and our supervisors are trained on an array of things. Like, for example, I specialize in play therapy and working with children and parents. We have Dr. Asher Pimpleman-Gray, who she'll be doing a lot of supervision for individual and group counseling.
Okay.
And then Dr. Blake Sandusky, who will be doing a lot of supervision. Do you know him? He will be doing a lot of supervision with our students who are working with couples and doing family therapy, because that's where his specialties are.
That's really awesome. I know Dr. Blake and his wife, Danae. Also, we have another comment from Dr. Christian. She says, "You rock, ladies. Great job." And so, yes, Sir Legacy, people with depression will be able to get help there. And the fee for the service, as you mentioned, it's a sliding scale. So I want to ask this question about, there are some people in the community that, are very low income and have limited resources. So if they come to you and they really need help, how will you understand it's a sliding scale, but okay, for those, how will you be able to help them, or what are some options that you can offer?
And I think kind of our rule of thumb is that we're not going to turn people away for services.
Exactly.
This is, while yes, we need to keep our lights on, this is also a training opportunity for our students and to give back to the community at the same time. So we don't want to turn people away. Okay. The only reason we would is because we don't have enough manpower. Okay. That would be, and that's a good problem.
And
right?
I think that would be the only issue.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you. And is it Dr. Kristen Johnson?
Kristen Johnson.
Yes. Okay. She gives some information for those of you out there listening. For more information about play therapy, email H.O.W.L H.O.W.L at astate.edu. And there's some other. And then also for other services, email HOWLCS at astate.edu. I'll make sure to keep that information on the website so that those of you who are interested in the services can seek these out. Now, there are other service providers in town, so will you ask individuals if they're already seeing someone? Will you provide overlap of service? If they're already seeing someone, how would that work?
I know in counseling we prefer prefer that it's usually better that they're not seeing multiple counselors, because we don't want, especially if we're not if we're not on the same page and all of that. Now there are instances where it's different services that they're getting, so that would be different. But there's also this idea, if they are getting services from someone else, we want to have open communication with that other person too. And so we'll get informed consent and all of that to be able to talk to the other professional to make sure that we are all working on the same page for the best interest of the client.
Okay. I want to say also good morning to Anita Boyd Melody, Mr. Adrian Everett, and Legacy asks, would there be services for people who are victims of assaults?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We work with a whole array of services. So like I was saying, depression, individuals who have experienced assault, PTSD, those who are experiencing issues with anxiety, social skills issues, all of those things, and then obviously, and even disabilities, people with disabilities we can work with. So it's we got a whole gambit of people we can work with.
All right, and Mr. Adrian says good morning to Dr. Kimberly and Dr. Lacey.
Good morning.
I want to ask this question, and it may seem kind of, I don't know, concerning group therapy. When you said group therapy, my mind went to people who are not necessarily related, but work together, say in an organization, or have some kind of common bond, and they are having some conflict within their group, and they come to you, or is it family group?
Yes. Okay. It can be that. It can also, a lot of times groups are also created based off of common issue.
Okay.
So we have an anxiety group. So all of these individuals are dealing with anxiety, so they can relate to one another, and they use that in their communication with one another and building the relationships within one another to help work through those issues.
So almost like a support group setting.
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. It's a little more in depth on a therapeutic side than what a support group does.
Okay.
So,
And so can you explain a little more? You know, we've heard about play therapy, but can you go into a little more detail concerning what play therapy entails and how it can benefit the child and their families?
Yeah, I would love to. Of course. So play therapy is an approach that was originally developed to work with children ages 3 to 12. I've worked with as young as 2.5. And now there's more and more looking at incorporating play therapy into work with adults and geriatric population and everything too, using that expressive arts component. But the focus of play therapy and what it does is that we know that children aren't going to be able to sit across from you and have a conversation about what they're struggling with. If anything, they're going to shut down when you try to do that, or do a whole lot of I don't know, like, what do you want me to answer?
Right.
And but if you do watch children play, if you watch them in their day-to-day activities, just playing on the playground or with their friends, they are actually playing out what they see in their day-to-day lives. So we use that to communicate. So what we see is that the play is their language and the toys are their words. And when we facilitate the process of communication, so it's easier for us as adults to get down on their level to communicate and like revert back to what it was like to be a child and communicate through the play, instead of asking them to do something cognitively that they don't have the ability to do. So we use the play, and it's all about the specific toys that they choose, how the toys interact with one another, how they interact with the toys, how they interact with you, build a relationship with you. We use limit setting to communicate how to use more productive behaviors as opposed to ones that were more destructive. And so they're able to actually work through and process what it is that they're experiencing.
Through play therapy, can you get an understanding of why some children have temper tantrums? I have seen children that no one is touching them, but they will scream to the highest octave that they can reach.
Yes. And what I always tell parents is anytime you see that, they're trying to communicate something to you.
Okay.
And so it's really just understanding the development and then the special needs around that child and what it is that they're in circumstances, and to determine what it is they're trying to communicate. And so a lot of times too, when you're doing play therapy, you're not just working with the child. You will a lot of times also work with the parents, whether it just be consultation that you're doing with them to say, hey, here's some things I'm seeing, here's some things that might help at home, here's some, have you tried this might work, here's some things that we're seeing that they're trying to communicate. And then we also do, at times when we see that maybe there needs to be some building of attachment, that maybe there's some struggling of building a secure relationship there. It can be for a number of reasons that could be happening. We'll do child-parent relationship therapy, where we will actually teach play therapy skills to the parent, and they get to do special playtime with their child each week and build that relationship with them.
That is really wonderful. And I'm sure through your experience, you have seen the families that do the assignments and the ones that don't do the assignments.
Yes, I have. And I have seen a lot of success. Play therapy is now officially an evidence-based approach to working with children. So the research is out there to support the effectiveness of its use, along with the child-parent relationship therapy when implemented, seeing that it really is effective in working with children and their families.
All right. So before we go to break, I want to ask real quick, concerning the other counseling services, how will the setup go? Once you do an intake and someone is set up to receive your services, how will you determine how long of a plan, I'm sorry, I don't know the exact terminology, but creating this plan for them, like how we determine how long they need to receive services?
That is really going to depend on the individual and what their individual needs are. So it changes from person to person. In a meeting, you'll actually talk about what their needs are and what their goals are, and kind of take it day by day to determine what's going to be best.
Okay. All right, we're going to pause right there. And when we come back, we'll get into the education side of the services that will be offered at the H.O.W.L Service Center. You tune into Community Conversations. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
When was the last time you had a good conversation with your teen? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Sometimes it can be difficult to find common ground with your teen, but with some time alone and fun questions, connecting with your teen can be easier. To help you get started, I've compiled a list of conversation starters. These questions will help you deepen your relationship with your teenager, as well as share some laughs and build memories together. Some questions to ask your teen include, if you could go anywhere, where would you travel to? What would your perfect day consist of? And what qualities are you looking for in a spouse? For more conversation starters for you and your teen, check out my blog at markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Are you a young woman between the ages of 18 and 29 with the desire to further your education and serve your community? If so, then you may have what it takes to become Miss KLEK. KLEK 102.5 FM will be hosting its very first Miss KLEK scholarship pageant on February 16, 2019. The theme will be Women of Empowerment. The grand prize winner will receive $1,000 toward her education at any four-year university, community college, or trade school in the Northeast Arkansas area. Contestants must be enrolled in school for 2019 in order to be eligible to participate in competition. If you think you have what it takes to be Miss KLEK, then fill out the registration form online at klekfm.org or stop by 1411 Franklin Street here in Jonesboro to pick up an application. An unrefundable $25 application fee must be returned with the application. For more information about the Miss KLEK Scholarship Pageant, visit klekfm.org or the official Miss KLEK Scholarship Pageant page by searching at Miss KLEK on Facebook. If you are a woman ready to empower and impact the community you live in, sign up to become the first ever Miss KLEK. Please note, the registration deadline for this event has been extended to October 12th, 2018.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by
The Glenn Sain Story. A few years ago, a good customer of ours retired from farming. And I asked him one day, I said, Frank, do you enjoy your retirement? He said, I really do, Danny. He said, you know, when I farmed, I'd go into a business in a hurry, and people come up and want to talk to me that retired and take a lot of time, and I was always in a hurry. He said, now I notice a lot of people walking away from me. A good story. Glenn Sain, and God bless our troops.
KLEK thanks C.J. Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
Hello, I'm Officer Victoria Evans. I have always had a desire to help others in need and to be an example and role model to young women by encouraging them to never give up on their dreams. My dream was to become a police officer and to serve my community. In 2016, that dream became a reality, and it is the most rewarding experience of my life. Now I want to let you know about the same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing every month for patrol officers. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com or at the Police Department, 1001 South Caraway Road. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, top-of-the-line training, and most importantly, the chance to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity employer, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information is available at 870-935-5657.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guests today are Dr. Lacey Overly and Dr. Kimberly Davis from Arkansas State University. They are going to be working with the H.O.W.L Service Center to open this Thursday, and we'll give you more details on the time. We'll give you more details on the time and the location so that you can make plans to go out and, you know, join the celebration, join the grand opening with them. I'm sure there are going to be lots of fun. Will Hal make an appearance?
Yes.
Hal and Scarlett. Don't forget Scarlett.
Scarlett. All right. So this will be an opportunity to go out and meet Hal and Scarlett and all the other wonderful staff and people that work at Arkansas State University. We're going to get back into our conversation about the services that are going to be offered. I want to talk about the education aspect of it. We spent the first part of the show talking about the counseling services, and even though your services will interconnect at some point, there's a whole different set of services offered through the education side. So tell us a little bit more about that, Dr. Kemp.
Okay, when we think about the education side of the H.O.W.L Service Center, what we're looking at is the academic interventions that will be provided to the students, again, based on 3 areas, which will be writing, reading, and math. And basically, in order to determine what services are actually needed, we will definitely have a referral from the parent or whomever is actually making that referral. And we want to find out what difficulties that student may be having in those areas. And so in order to determine the actual deficits, we will have to complete assessments. And those assessments can definitely be informal assessments or the use of academic achievement tests in order to determine what those deficits are. Because we want to make sure that our students, which will be our pre-service teachers and school psychologists in training are able to make those connections from what the assessments, the results from the assessments into actually what they're needing. So based on that, we will develop a plan where we will develop objectives and goals for that student, as well as be able to monitor their progress over a long period of time. And again, as Dr. Overly explained earlier, it all depends on that individual student on how long those services will be needed and what type of services will be needed for that student. And we want to make sure that we provide those individualized interventions for that student in order to track their progress appropriately.
Okay. I was thinking, and we had a little talk off air, every student learns differently. So,
absolutely.
Will you be able to assess students on through different avenues? And please help me understand what are some of the ways the students learn. I know auditory is one, visual,
tactile, kinesthetic. I mean, students learn all different ways, and we also want to focus on their multiple intelligence. You know, because some students, they have different ways of learning, different avenues of learning, and so our students are trained to be able to differentiate that instruction for them to be able to provide what that student actually needs. And that's all a part of the assessment process, is to find how that student learns best. So we will go through those avenues to provide those interventions.
You know, based on the information that you gather through your assessments and through continued services offered to the child and their parents, will you then send, I guess, information to the teacher of the school or the principal of the school, the counselor of the school the student attends, to let them know, okay, this is what we found during our assessment and during our time, and you know, here's some recommendations on how to best help this child be productive and successful.
There definitely will be a progress or a plan in place that will provide recommendations to the parent and the teacher, things that the teacher can do at school that will be helpful, as well as things that the parent can do at home, because we not only want to focus on what can go on at school, but we want to make sure, again, those wraparound services, because we all know the parent is the child's first teacher, so we want to make sure they're able to provide, you know, those same, you know, interventions at home or similar interventions, because it must be followed up in order to be effective, in my opinion, and based on research.
All right. You know, I know that our teachers now that teach K through 12, they already feel that they're having to restrict themselves to a structure that is set in place by the state and then the federal government. But do you feel that over time, as more and more of these progress reports come out, as you deal with more, as you intervene with more and more students, you can then possibly advocate for changing the curriculum? I understand that, you know, I don't know what the current Arkansas curriculum is, but I know from talking to students that I know, and then from my own child, the setup of the curriculum can be a little frustrating. I'm just going to use that word.
Absolutely.
And the teachers are doing the best they can with what they have to work with. So, but something has to give at some point, because the students seem like they're learning just to pass.
Right. And we want to focus on those skills that the students may not have in order for them to learn effectively. So the clinic will not only look at the counseling service, but we want to build those skills, because if you think about when students struggle in school, it's lack of. It's, you know, they may have a deficit in a certain skill that's causing them not to be able to learn. And so once we focus on that skill, I think the student will be able to exceed.
Okay. All right. So let's get a little deeper into reading, writing, and math. You mentioned it earlier, and it seems that, and this was definitely a place where my child struggled. Some children really excel, and then some children really struggle. What has research shown to be some of the reasons that children struggle in these areas?
It can be a number of reasons behind that. Some students may have a disability that cause them not be able to read, write, or even complete math calculations. But some of it is lack of instruction. And again, when we go back to achievement, sometimes it leads back to poor teaching.
Okay.
Many of the students that I've worked with in the past, it was lack of proper instruction, lack of differentiation of instruction.
Okay.
Because if you're only lecturing and you're not using that student's learning styles, or you're not taking all of that into consideration, then that student will not be able to learn. And then you have students that come in with different backgrounds and, different cultures. You have to get to know that child. And so my philosophy on it all is, if you don't know me, how can you teach me? You must get to know your student in and out in order to provide adequate instruction. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to pinpoint those knowledge and skills that that student will need in order to be successful in the classroom.
Another thing that we're seeing, and I don't know how it is in Arkansas, I'm a little out of the loop on when it comes to teachers, but in some other states that have been in the news, skilled licensed teachers are walking away from the profession simply due to salary. And so now you're getting individuals that they're having to plug those places with individuals who either have a basic certification or even no certification. They might not even have a degree in education or early childhood learning, anything of that nature. So over time, if this trend continues, it's going to be detrimental for the children in the school. So again, with the information that you all would gather based on your professional experience, what can be done to ensure that more professional, licensed, skilled teachers are entering those classrooms and teaching these children?
Well, in teacher education, that was my whole purpose for going into teacher education, was to have a greater impact in the schools by preparing quality teachers. And so the only way that I see to address that need is the recruitment and retention of quality teachers. Right now, we're at an all-time low in recruiting teachers. If you look across the state of Arkansas and just nationwide, there is less than maybe 20% of students that are entering into college that are going into education or selecting education as their major of study. So my question is, how can we get more teachers involved or more individuals to choose teaching as their profession? And that is the only way that we'll be able to address that, because we can talk about salary and things of that sort, but teachers, the salary, it's not where it needs to be, but it is comfortable. And you can live comfortably on the teacher's salary.
Well, hopefully over time we will see some changes. Hopefully within the next several years in my lifetime, we will see some changes, because children deserve the best and quality care. Even when it comes to counseling and to teaching, to education, children deserve the best. We want them to grow up to be productive and successful adults.
Absolutely.
But if they're not receiving what they need on the front end in those early years, then how can we expect anything in the latter year?
Yes.
And as with the H.O.W.L Service Center, we want to serve as a resource to our schools to be able to bridge that gap as well, because teachers are working incredibly hard in the classroom, and sometimes students just need that extra push or that extra intervention session that the teacher's not able to provide in the classroom. So again, we're that resource not only to the community, but we want to make sure the school is involved in bridging that gap as well.
Now, one question I asked Dr. Lacey about offering those continuing education courses, will you all be looking into offering that for educators as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have always provided professional development opportunities for the teachers in this area. We didn't have it last summer, but previously we had the paraprofessional conference for 3 years. That was at no cost to paraprofessionals to attend a 2-day conference at Arkansas State University. We plan to continue that and also offer other opportunities for teachers as well as service providers in the state of Arkansas.
That's definitely awesome. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Dr. Lacey Overly and Dr. Kimberly Davis of Arkansas State University. They will be working with the H.O.W.L Service Center on the campus of Arkansas State University. The Service Center will be providing counseling services along with some educational services. Please forgive me. All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about the date and time and location so that people can make plans to come out and see what you have to offer and really support your efforts to serve the community.
Well, our grand opening is going to be this Thursday at 4.
4 to 6.
Yes, 4 to 6. We are having a whole ribbon cutting, and like Dr. Davis said, we're going to have H.O.W.L and Scarlett out there, and so it'll be a good time, and be able to take a tour of the center and everything, and then the school psych and special education will be starting their services right away.
Okay.
So Dr. Davis can talk a little bit more about that, and then, like I said, the counseling services will begin in the spring, and they will be Monday through Friday, and so as needed for when clientele's within reasonable time.
Okay.
We've talked about like from 10 to 7, roughly, the times of operations.
10 to 7.
Okay. And with the academic interventions, we're looking at Tuesdays for the fall from 2 to 7. 2 p.m. to 7 p.m.
On Wednesdays.
On Tuesdays.
Okay, I need to go to classes. My listening skills are not up to par someday. Okay, so Tuesdays 2 to 7, and this will start on next Tuesday?
Yeah, we're starting to look at
right away. Okay.
Taking referrals and getting them in. We're ready, and our students are extremely excited.
All right, so during your assessment process, can you walk us through a little bit of what people can expect during the assessment, or what types of questions you may ask during that time?
Well, basically, the assessment process will first start off with building a rapport with that student, and then maybe asking them questions. Typically, do you like school? What subjects do you typically like in school?
Okay.
What are some things that that make you happy? What are some things that make you sad? What are your favorite subjects? And then we may ask the parent, we will ask the parent different questions about the child. And we may even go as far as sending a questionnaire to the teacher to find out more about that student in the classroom. The assessments are based on those academic areas in reading, writing, and math. And it's basic calculation will be in math. We're looking at basic reading and reading comprehension, as well as reading fluency. And then in writing, we're looking at the written expression in terms of writing fluency and just how well they're able to write based on a given topic.
All right. I want to say good morning to Mr. Kate Holiday and Miss Megan Melody. She says, thank you, Kaylee K. Lacey, Overland, and Kimberly Davis. But thank you so much for tuning in, Miss Megan. Thank you for your support. I need everybody to share this video and pass the word around, because this is going to offer some great services to the community, the children and families of this community. I want to ask if, Dr. Kim, if you encounter a student who just simply, they don't want to talk, kind of sit there, do you then refer them to Dr. Lacey's side and say, okay?
No, that's very typical with the student because they have to get to know you. I don't want to say we want to, refer, but we want to get to know that student. Sometimes it takes a while for that student to open up to others. So we have to make sure that we use the appropriate skills that we're taught to build that rapport before we begin the assessment process.
Now, is there a way for some like outside observation? Say you're in a room with a student, and for say the counseling side, someone to kind of be on the outside of the room, but kind of hear or watch the interaction so they can maybe make notes and then maybe give you feedback on what they noticed or vice versa?
As part of this being a training for our students, because we'll be supervising our students in the process, we do have the opportunity to do live supervision through video feed.
Yes.
And so yes, that is available for us to be able to do that. And like as soon as they finish a session, we can go over like, hey, here's some areas where you could improve and work with them. I saw this. Did you see this? Those kinds of things.
Okay.
It's all about the learning experience and process.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Another question I had, Dr. Kim. I'm sorry, my brain is all over the place. With some students, you know, some teachers or some schools are quick to want to label children as slow, special needs, or have learning disabilities. Have you ever encountered a student who, and I hate to use this word, is just plain lazy? Like they may be highly intelligent, but they just do not.
I'm not going to say lazy, but I'm saying unmotivated.
Unmotivated.
Oftentimes you find that. So you have to find out what motivates that child, because it's all about building that intrinsic motivation for students, because they have to want it for themselves. And so that is, you know, the key to, in order to get a student to where they need to be, is building that intrinsic motivation, making sure they want it for themselves. And that is hard, but it's possible.
It's possible. I apologize to anyone, not trying to offend, just
I
just didn't know the correct terms to use, because I have seen students who are super intelligent, they just don't want to apply themselves, but there's deeper things going on within them.
Exactly, and that's my point. Finding out what motivates them, or what is causing them not to want to do the work. And you'll find out it's a lot of different factors.
And I think that is what a lot of people see it as, or classify it as lazy. And it's really about like what is going to motivate them. And because if they're not doing it for themselves, it's not going to happen.
That's right.
And also thinking about, you never know their failures. So sometimes kids have always felt like, I can't do it. It's always been like this, so I know, you know, it's not going to be any different this year. So again, it's about that motivation in that child, because you don't know where they're being, but you want to try to direct where they're going.
I'm glad you brought that up. We're about to go to break here soon. This may be something we catch on the other side, but students who are in households that are not supportive, encouraging, the child is doing the best they can to some degree, but then they have a moment where they shut down. So doing the counseling and the education, when you try to dig deeper and find out what's going on with the student without making them feel like you're digging into their family life, but you're really trying to help that student kind of push through and maneuver through whatever emotional things are going on in their life.
And really trying to help them develop the skills necessary to succeed on the other side of it.
Right, and I think that's when the wraparound services will actually take place. Being able to cover that child all together, because it not only takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to teach a child. And that's what I think the House Service Center will help do for the community of Jonesboro.
All right, well thank you so much. We're going to pause right there and take another break. When we come back, we'll wrap up this session. You tune in to Community Conversations, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Our Think Wealthy quote of the week comes from Black Enterprise consumer expert and money section editor, Sharisa Naw.
Well, women are naturally inclined to protect what belongs to them, whether it's their children or their spouse. So we as women need to transfer this behavior to the way we approach money, and we need to do this by protecting our wealth.
Women who are mothers are major keys to boosting the financial literacy of future generations. It is critical to the economic health of families and communities for women to commit to their own financial education, as well as to build the confidence to build and protect their wealth.
So women need to really learn as much as they can about managing their money, learn how to balance a checkbook, learn how much money is coming in and going out of your household, and also learn what bills you and your spouse are responsible for.
I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters. a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Starks Auto Plaza at 2829 Red Wolf Boulevard is a proud KLEK supporter, offering luxury pre-owned vehicles sold wholesale to the public. At Starks, we never say no. 870-203-9980. Details at starksautoplaza.com.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com. Check out the Dorinda Clark Cole Radio Show every Sunday at 4 o'clock p.m. Listen as Dorinda plays the very best in contemporary gospel music and interviews all of your favorite gospel artists. The Dorinda Clark Cole Radio Show every Sunday at 4 p.m. on KLEK 102.5 FM. House of Details, located at 3217 Herb Street, Suite C, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: waxing, clear coat protection, basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more. With a motto of, anything mean, we can clean. Details available via Quentin Bogard at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and houseofdetailsjonesboro.com.
KLEK is starting a new fundraiser which will allow listeners to donate to KLEK while buying groceries. KLEK is a part of the Kroger Community Rewards fundraising program. When shoppers visit a participating Kroger and scan his or her Kroger Plus Shoppers card, a portion of the savings goes back to KLEK to help keep it on the air. Details on how to sign up for the program are available at KrogerCommunityRewards.com and at KLEKFM.org. This is a KLEK fundraiser.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guests today are Dr. Kimberly Davis and Dr. Lacey Overly from Arkansas State University. They are going to be working with the H.O.W.L Service Center, which opens this Thursday at 4 p.m. They're going to have Hal and Scarlett and some other guests out there, and other staff, professors, and individuals. Students will also, the students that will be working through the center will be out there as well. So you get to meet some of everybody. I really hope the community goes out in full force to support their efforts. This is going to be a wonderful service added to the community, along with the other services that have been offered. So we're going to wrap. I'm going to let you all just wrap up. Either anything we didn't cover, any final thoughts you would like to share, just to really push and highlight the service center.
We just want to encourage everyone, to come out and be a part of the community and join the H.O.W.L Service Center. If you have a child that is struggling in any academic area, if you yourself, as just a community, we want to make sure that we are healthy in terms of mental health. I think that's a service that we don't use that often, especially in the Black community. And I just want to encourage those who, have anxiety or depression or any type of issue. Sometimes it's better to talk it out.
Yes,
we can pray about it, but definitely talk it out and, use those services. And again, come out.
All right.
Be a part of it.
I just think we're super excited about being able to do this. To be able to provide these services, our students are super excited. They're like, as soon as we mentioned it, they're all like, "Oh, I want to help. I want to be a part of this." Well, we only have so much space, so we can only take so many. But so they're excited. They want to be out there, hands-on, helping, giving back, and I will mention H.O.W.L, so y'all know it is an acronym for Helping Our Wolves Learn. So, and it's helping them learn in a number of ways, whether it be learning self-care and learning how to better themselves, or learning academically, learning skills, learning new behaviors. It's all about just the betterment of our community and our future wolves, red wolves.
I love it. That is awesome.
Yes.
So you're helping the future, hopefully, red wolves, become well-rounded individuals, and hopefully they will attend school at Arkansas State University.
Yes.
And then also the current red wolves, when they graduate, hopefully we can retain them within the city, and they can work for the current agencies that already exist, or maybe stay on in employment through the service center if that opportunity is available.
If we go to that point, yes, which we hope we will.
We're hoping that happens.
All right, so again, let's talk about, there is a fee. However, it's on a sliding scale.
Yes.
So don't let that deter you from going to get services. No. They will work with you. They don't want to turn anyone away, because there's a need in the community.
Absolutely.
And everyone deserves to get the help that they need, especially if someone is brave enough to reach out, then
that's half the battle.
Yes. All right. So any final words of encouragement, and just any final words or shout outs to your departments that you want to give?
We want to give a shout out to the other ladies who are not here with us. Yes. Dr. Kristen Johnson, Dr. Megan Medley, and Dr. Asher Pimpleton Gray. We love you ladies, and this would not be possible without you all.
This is definitely a team effort.
Yes. Everyone has worked so hard. Our department chairs, our dean, associate dean.
Yeah, this has been a group effort, and without the support of our department and our college, and like she said, our team of awesome women, then this would not be possible.
All right. I want to say good morning to Mr. Bernard Cobbs and Miss Christy Mathis Conway. Oh, we forgot to give the location of the
Yes, we are in the education building on campus, which is next to the library. The actual center is on the first floor. When you walk in the main entrance from the parking lot, it's immediately to your left.
Okay. All right, so go out this Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. to the H.O.W.L, I'm going to get tongue-tied, H.O.W.L Service Center, and meet these wonderful young ladies and all the other staff and students. They'll be working with this center. This is to serve the community of Jonesboro. Will you take referrals and treat individuals from other cities, or just within Jonesboro?
No, I would say if they're willing to get
drive,
here,
yes.
then yes. And I also do want to add Dr. John Hall. He has been an
Yes,
awesome help
yes,
too.
you can't leave him out.
No, he has been an amazing, kind of just really put a lot of support in with
Yes.
us and has been cheering us along the way. So.
All right, well, thank you all for joining us today, and they will be back again, so don't worry. And thank you, everyone out there, for listening, supporting KLEK. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy.